This is weird, but I just need to make sure. Okay, good. Vivek and somebody are here. Chantel and Siwan, are you guys here? Chantel's here. Siwan, are you here? I'm assuming that's you. Yes. Okay, perfect. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Guys, we're gonna learn this together since, we clearly don't know area. And it didn't teach us what area is. So I can't even teach you what area is. So let's do homeboy here. We've used him before. I've used him at least in our homework. He's pretty enthusiastic at least. And then obviously it'll ask us questions. So, all right, here goes nothing.
Hi, welcome to Math Antics. In our last geometry video, we learned that all two-dimensional shapes have a one-dimensional quantity called perimeter, which is basically the outline of the shape. In this video, we're going to learn that these shapes also have a two-dimensional quantity called area. To help you understand what area is, let's start by imagining a line that's 1 centimeter long. Now, let's imagine moving that line in a perpendicular direction, a distance of 1 centimeter. But while we move it, it leaves a trail, almost like the end of a paintbrush. By moving the one-dimensional line that way, we formed a two-dimensional shape. And all of the space or surface that we covered along the way is the area of that shape, which, as you can see here, is just a square. Okay, but how much area does this square have? Well, our original line was 1 centimeter long, and we moved it a distance of 1 centimeter. So we could say that this shape is a square centimeter. Just like a centimeter is a basic unit for measuring length, a square centimeter is a basic unit for measuring area. But there's other units for area too. For example, instead of a centimeter, what if our line had been a meter long? And what if we had moved it 1 meter? The area we'd have gotten would be 1 square meter. Or what if our line was a mile long and we moved it a mile? We'd have a square mile of area. So just like with perimeter, the units of measurement are very important when we're talking.
Oh, first question. All right, guys, let's do it. What is the area of the square seen here? What is the area? Good job. Yeah, good job, everybody raising your hand. Vivek, I think you were technically first because yeah.
I think it says it right there. 1 mil.
So is it just 1 mile or is it 1 square mile?
1 square mile.
That's what I think. Good job. Yes. It was 1 square mile. All right, not 1 actual mile. Because again, it's the area. And like he's saying, you want to know everything inside that box. So you can't just say that a box is 1 mile. A road can be a mile, right? Like when you're driving or when you're walking or running, you can run a straight line or a path that's a mile. But if you ran in a square, it would still be a path. But like if you ran everything inside that square, then you ran a 1 square mile. Okay, cool. Let's keep going.
We're talking about area. All right.
I also don't know how to make this go away, so it's just gonna have to stay, I guess.
Calculate area mathematically? Well, there's some special math formulas or equations that we can use to find the area of different shapes. In this video, we're going to learn the formula for squares and rectangles and the formula for triangles.
Whatever.
To find the area of any square or rectangle, all we have to do is multiply its 2 side dimensions together. They're usually called...
Oh no. Oh, this might actually help. Nope, it won't let us answer the questions.
The length and the width. So the formula...
Yeah, I don't know how to get rid of this, guys. Sorry.
Area equals length times width. But it's often written with just the first letters of each word as abbreviations. A for area, L for length.
I'm going to rewind just because I was doing all that crazy stuff.
Formula for triangles. To find the area of any square or rectangle, all we have to do is multiply its 2 side dimensions together. They're usually called the length and the width. So the formula looks like this. Area equals length times width. But it's often written with just the first letters of each word as abbreviations. A for area, L for length, and W for width. So let's see if that formula works for our original square centimeter. If we multiply the length, 1 centimeter, times the width, 1 centimeter, what do we get? Well, 1 times 1 is just 1. But what about centimeter times centimeter? Centimeter times centimeter just gives us square centimeters, which we can write like this using the 2 as an exponent. We read this as centimeters squared, and it's just a shorter way of writing centimeter times centimeter. So whenever you see units like centimeters squared, or inches squared, or meters squared, or miles squared, you know it's a measurement of the two-dimensional quantity area. Okay.
Oh, here we go. All right. Area answers are always given in what? Cubic units, normal units, or square units? Somebody. Which one?
Square units.
Yes. Yep, not those ones. Just square. Good job. All right, let's keep going.
Our formula, area equals length times width, worked for our square. Now let's see if it works for a rectangle. Here's a rectangle that's 4 centimeters wide and 2 centimeters long, or tall. First, we plug the length and width into our formula, 2 centimeters and 4 centimeters.
Oh, here we go. What is the area of this rectangle? Don't forget units. All right. So, based on everything we've been learning, what am I going to type out C1?
8 centimeter.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Say that again.
8 centimeter.
All right. Is it just going to be 8 centimeters and that's it?
No, I forgot. Like I don't know. I think you don't know how to write the 2 or so.
Yeah.
8
So
centimeter.
yeah, so that's going to be called squared. Yep, so it's going to be 8 centimeters squared. I can't put like a little square button, so I'm assuming if I do this up arrow and then a 2, it should work, but I guess we'll find out. To be graded. So guys, oh, it's open-ended. So that means I grade it. So guys, if you put something like this, or if it was 8 centimeters and then you put a 2 or 8 centimeters arrow into, I will mark it right. But if you just put 8 centimeters, then I'll mark it wrong because again, it's going to be squared. So watch, because that's what he's about to say.
Then we just multiply. 2 times 4 equals 8, and centimeter times centimeter is centimeter squared. So according to our formula, the area of this rectangle is 8 centimeters squared.
Does that make sense, guys? That it was squared and not just 8 centimeters? Thumbs up. Good. I see some thumbs up. Not a lot of thumbs up. Good. 2 thumbs up. Okay, can I get 3 thumbs up? Because I know C1 knows because he answered it. Vivek, did that make sense? I'm going to go with no, then. Oh, I don't know what that was. Okay. Vivek, I'm going to keep going.
And we can see that's correct if we bring back our original square centimeter. If we make copies of it, you can see that exactly 8 of those square centimeters would be the same area as this rectangle. Great. Let's try our formula on one more rectangle. This rectangle is 2 centimeters long, but only half a centimeter wide. And our formula, area equals length times width, tells us that we just need to multiply these two sides together to get our area. 2 times 1/2 equals.
Oh, here we go. 2 times 1/2 equals what? Right? Keep in mind, we are multiplying by a fraction. Keep in mind, we are multiplying by a fraction. All right? I haven't heard anything from Chantel. Chantel, did you want to try it? Or maybe help us at least with what the first step should be? No? Okay. Samriti, do you know?
I don't know, but I'm gonna try to answer it, even though I don't know how to do it.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm putting the problem down right now.
Okay.
I might have 2 answers because I'm going to try different ways.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, what'd you get?
Okay. I have 2, 2, and I have a whole number 5. 2, 2, 2. How do I even say that as a fraction?
2 over 2?
Oh yeah, that.
So 2 over 2, any number that's over itself equals a 1. So Samriti, you are correct. It is 1.
Really?
Yeah, you are right. Yep.
Oh
Guys,
my gosh, I'm so proud of myself.
you should be. That's awesome. Yeah, guys, if you get any number over itself, it's going to equal 1. And you will see, based on what he's about to do, the answer will be 1 centimeter squared. All right? Because again, when you have fractions, I wish I could draw, but I don't think I can draw while this video is playing. So I may be able to draw it late when the video is over. But whenever you have 2 fractions, you can literally just multiply across. So like a solid 2, a whole number, would be 2 over 1. Remember, any whole number, if you write it as a fraction, it's going to be over 1. So you could do 2 times 1 for the 1/2, and then the 1 times 2, and then you'll get 2 over 2, which also equals 1, because any number over itself is 1. You can do it that way. You can do it the way Samriti did. I'm sure C1 knows it a way too. Maybe C1's way is even easier. I'm going to submit. It's open-ended again. So if you submitted this or even 1 centimeter with a 2 at the end, I'd mark it right. But if you just said 1 centimeter, then it'd be wrong. All right, let's see what he says.
Equals 1. So this rectangle is also 1 square centimeter.
Boom.
How could
Did that make sense? I know it made sense to Samriti because she did it and got it right. Does that make sense to everyone else? The answer is no. I'm gonna assume. Also, because this video is playing, I can't see the chat box. Like, it won't even let me do it. So if you guys are using the chat box, I promise to look at it when this video is over. I just can't see it right now. Okay, well then let's keep going.
could that be a square centimeter? It's not even a square. But just because a shape takes up 1 square centimeter of area, that doesn't mean it has to be a square shape. It just means that the total area would be equal or the same as a square centimeter. You can see that if we break up the rectangle in half and rearrange it, then it would form a square. In fact, we can use square units, like square centimeters, to measure any area, no matter what the shape is. It could be a rectangle, a triangle, a circle, or any other 2-dimensional shape. Okay, now that you know how to find the area of any square or rectangle using our formula, we're going to learn the formula for finding the area of any triangle. But to do that, we're going to start with a rectangle again. What? The dimensions of this rectangle are 3 meters by 4 meters. So, what's its area? Well, using our formula, we know that the area would be 3 meters times 4 meters, which is 12 meters squared. But now, what if we were to cut this rectangle exactly in half along a diagonal line from opposite corners? It forms 2 triangles. And because each of these triangles is exactly half of the rectangle, that means that the area of either triangle must be exactly half the area of the rectangle.
All right. So explain in your own words how the area of the rectangle helps determine the area of the triangle. So this one is a sentence. So, and again, I can't see the chat box right now. It won't let me during this video, and I'm so sorry for that. So does anybody want to raise their hand and tell me what sentence I should type? By explaining how knowing the rectangle's area helps us know the area of the triangle. You will have to say it out loud, because again, I cannot see the chat box during the video. Somebody?
I am guessing only. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Well, you see, I'm thinking that it's because when a square, I'm not a square, rectangle is, but is, it's like the rectangle is a whole number, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you cut it in half, equal parts, it's like a fraction, and those two halves you can share.
Yeah, that's a long sentence, but it's right. So even if you typed that, I would have accepted it. I'm gonna just shorten your sentence a little though, just because I don't know how much space it'll actually let me type. But yeah, no, you're right. So basically, what she's saying is that I can cut the area in half because I literally cut the shape in half. So that's what I'm going to type. So my area can be half because the shape has been cut in half. Ooh. Cut. There we go. All right, Chantel. Do you have a question? Or do you want to answer the next one or something? Again, I can't see the chat box. If anybody's doing that.
Oh, so is this like geometry or something?
Yeah, we're starting very early geometry.
Oh,
So that's what we're getting into, but we're taking it very slowly.
okay.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't really look like the geometry that I never saw before. Didn't we
Yeah.
do like a different kind of geometry before?
We have done a different kind before, like an easier kind, but now it's gonna get like just a little bit harder and a little more specific. Before you guys did, and he said at the beginning of the video, something called perimeter, and that's where you're measuring the sides of a shape, but you're only measuring the outside. So we've done perimeter, which looks like area in geometry, but perimeter, believe it or not, it's only the outside line. Now, area is inside the shape. So what's an example? So if you had a house and you just measured, the outside walls of a house, that's the perimeter. But if you're measuring the inside of the house, the living room, the bathroom, the kitchen, the bedroom, like all those things, that's called the area. So that's what we're learning now. So we've learned how to do the outside of shapes. So now we're learning to do the inside of shapes.
Oh,
If that helps.
okay.
Yeah. Right, here we go. Oh, there we go.
We already calculated that the area of the entire rectangle is 12 meters squared. So the area of this triangle must be 6 meters squared. And the area of this triangle must be 6 meters squared, since 6 is half of 12. Aha!
Oh.
So the formula for the area of a triangle
Sorry.
should just be half of a rectangle. So does that mean that instead of area equals length times width, it should be area equals 1/2 of length times width?
Dun, dun, dun. this is a note. This is one way to write the formula. You may also see the formula written as length times width divided by 2. That says length times width divided by 2. Yeah, so basically you can do length times width divided by 2 or length times width times half. Both of those are the correct answer. So if you ever were typing it out and wrote divided by 2 or times half, both of them are right.
Yep, that's basically it, but with one important difference. Instead of L for length and W for width, we're going to use two different names for our triangle's dimensions. We're going to call them base and height, and here's why. The names length and width worked okay for this right triangle, because the right triangle is exactly half of a rectangle. But those names don't really work for other kinds of triangles, like acute triangles or obtuse triangles, because how do you tell which side should be which? So for triangles, we do something different. First, we choose one of the three sides to be the base. It doesn't really matter which side you choose, and in a lot of math problems, the base will already be chosen for you. Once we decide which side the base is, we imagine setting the triangle down on the ground so that its base is flat on the ground, like this. Next, we find the highest point of the triangle, which is the vertex that's not touching the ground. From that point, we draw a line straight down to the ground. The line we draw must be perpendicular with the ground. The length of that line from the tip of the triangle to the ground is called the height of the triangle.
Boom. So again, we've learned length times width works for things like squares in any shape, mostly with 4 sides, because you can pretty much tell which, what is the flat bottom and what's like the straight up and down. But like he's saying with triangles, you can't always tell which one, what's the bottom, what's the top, what's the side, you know what I mean? So that's why we're doing this, base times height, which is literally the same thing as length times width. The only difference is we have to make a straight line down eventually, and we won't, not with all triangles. With all triangles, you won't always have a straight line down, only with right triangles. So that's what we're doing here. So what he's saying is the height of the triangle, and it's going to be one of these, is perpendicular to the base of the triangle. Okay, so perpendicular to the base, meets the base of the triangle at 90-degree angle, all of the above, or shows how tall the triangle is if the base side is on the ground. Dun dun dun. Samriti.
I think it's all of the above.
Yes, it is all of the above. So this one's not up here because this is not technically right, because showing how tall the triangle is can always like change technically. But if you're doing like base times height specifically, you'll be fine as long as, like he's saying, you find a way to make your triangle flat, and then just take the mountain peak, what he called the vertex, and draw a straight line down. So yes, Samriti, you are correct. Good job.
Well, some people call the height of a triangle the altitude, which makes a lot of sense if you pretend that your triangle is a tiny little mountain. Sometimes the height line is inside the triangle, like with an acute triangle. And sometimes it's outside the triangle, like with an obtuse triangle.
Hold on, let me move it so you can see it. I just want to make sure you guys can see that, like he said, because obviously if you do a straight line up here, you'd still be going up the mountain.
Sometimes it lines up exactly with one of the triangle sides, like with right triangles. But no matter where it is, the formula for finding the area of any triangle is the same. Area equals 1/2 base times height. So if we know these two measurements, base and height, we can just plug them into our formula to calculate the area. At first, you might not see how the same formula could work for all three types of triangles, but watch this. Here's an acute triangle, and this box is 1/2 its base times its height. If we cut our triangle up, you can see that it fits perfectly inside that area. But wait, there's more. Here's an obtuse triangle, with a box that's 1/2 its base times its height. Again, if we cut up the triangle, it fits perfectly inside the box. Now you can see how the formula, area equals 1/2 base times height, works for any kind of triangle. Okay, we already figured out that the area of this right triangle was 6 square meters. So let's practice using our new formula to calculate the area of these last two triangles. Our diagram shows that the base of this acute triangle is 5 meters and its height is 8 meters. So we
correct. All right. So, based on what we're learning, find the area of this triangle. Okay, again, it is a triangle, it's not a square, so we're going to be using this formula. All right, remember, base times height times 1/2, or base times height divided by 2. If it was a square, we would have just done length times width, as you guys know. So I see Chantel's hand. Chantel, what would my answer be?
Hello?
Hi, Chantel.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm having a little difficult. Okay.
You're fine.
Okay. I think is Can I think real quick?
Yeah, again, yes, take your time. Remember, so our base and our height right here is right here. So what is 8 times 5?
Oh, 8 times 5?
Yeah, that's our first step. Base times height is going to be 8 times 5.
40.
Good. Now we have to divide it by 2 or, times it by half. So what is half of 40?
20.
Yes. So if you look over here, we have 2 answers though. So Chantel, based on what we've been learning, is it going to be just 20 meters or is it going to be 20 square meters?
20 meters.
You think it's just normal meters?
No, wait, 20 square meters.
Yes. And the reason why, if it was 20 meters, we'd be doing perimeter. We'd be doing the outside of the triangle. But we're learning area, which is the inside of the triangle. Okay? Like he was saying, if we dissected this, we can turn any triangle technically into a square or a rectangle, basically. So it's always going to turn into some way, shape, or form a square, or at least it could. So that's why it's square meters. Boom. There we go.
So we plug those values into our formula for area, and we get area equals 1/2 of 5 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40, and 1/2 of 40 is 20. So the area of this triangle is 20 meters squared. Don't forget that the units of measurement for area will always be square units. Okay, that was pretty simple. Let's try our last example. The diagram of this obtuse triangle tells us that the base is 4 inches and the height is 7 inches. So let's plug.
All right, so we're doing the same thing, just with different numbers. Siwan, help us out.
It's 14 square inches.
Think it's 14 square inches. Let's test his theory. 4 times 7 is 28. Half of that is 14, so yes, he is correct.
Plug those values into our
That was
formula.
fast. Nice.
We end up with the equation. Area equals 1/2 of 4 times 7. 4 times 7 would be 28. And then we can calculate what 1/2 of 28 would be by dividing by 2. 28 divided by 2 is 14. So the area of this obtuse triangle must be 14 square inches. Okay, now you know all the basics of area. You know that area is a 2-dimensional quantity that we measure in square units. You've learned the formula for calculating the area of any square or rectangle. Area equals length times width. And you've learned the formula for calculating the area of any triangle. Area equals 1/2 of base times height. But don't forget to practice what you've learned by working some problems on your own. That's how you really get good at math. As always, thanks for watching Math Antics, and I'll see you next time. Learn more at mathantics.com.
Boom. All right. So guys, what I'm going to do, since, I mean, for the most part, we all did, I think, very well. I'm going to click this button here that says assign. All right. I am assigning this to 6th grade math. All right. Start date is today. Again, it's going to be due by tonight at midnight, like I've been doing all week. I will post this to Google Classroom. All right. And then I'm going to hit, oh, it didn't work. Oh, I have to hit save. Save. All right, I'm going to hit assign. So that is officially homework. Okay. If you were here today and you participated, I feel like that video should be relatively easy to do. If you were not here from the very beginning, then all you have to do is go back, watch the YouTube video, and like watch today's YouTube video. I apologize. And let me put this under homework real quick. All right, it's gonna be homework. Okay, so now save. Okay, so now when we go down, it'll be under homework right there. Okay. So as a reminder, so we don't repeat what happened in April. Okay, I just want to show everybody that, for example, our homework from Wednesday, only 2 people have done. Ayub and Siwan. That is it. All right. Oh God. And then as far as, well, obviously no one did tonight's homework yet. And then this will be tonight's homework. So only 2 people have done the homework. Again, if you needed help somehow getting on the Edpuzzle and it didn't work, this month of May is your time to get help, since you have the ability to get a Chromebook now from the school, meaning there is not a lot of room for excuses. Second, if you genuinely cannot get Edpuzzle to work, and you have brought this up to me or Miss Dela Cruz or Miss Williams, then it is your job to be doing 1 page in your packet for homework every day. If you're not doing that and sending pictures to me, to my email or to my phone, then it is still not being marked as complete. All right? You also have the ability to go to the school to pick up your packet when you got your Chromebook, meaning there are no excuses to not be doing our homework. If you are confused, you have access to my YouTube channel. I have added this to every class. These are all the links you need. The link to Edpuzzle, the link to Freckle, Miss Williams' Zoom link, YouTube, or my YouTube channel specifically, and Miss Dela Cruz's Zoom link. You guys all have access to this now the moment you get onto Google Classroom. Starting today, I will no longer let you guys use excuses that you don't have links because they are on Google Classroom. You now have all the links you need to be successful in my class specifically. This will also be available if you're only able to somehow get into 6th grade science, where you can now go see all the links still and the homework and just like extra stuff. Again, just for fun, it seems only 2 people did the homework. Anas and Ayub, interesting. They only did this, they're the only 2 that did yesterday's science homework. And then only 2 people did Tuesday's homework, which was Reham and Ayub. So we have a lot of scattered users. Again, if you are unable to access online work, you should be doing 1 page in your packet a day. All right? And then send me a picture of it so I have it, because I will not, at the end of this month, at the end of May, we're not going to repeat what happened in April. In April, those last like 4 days, everyone was like, now there's too much work. I'm stressed. This is not just you guys, by the way. This is 5th and 6th grade. But everybody was like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. How on earth am I going to get all this work done? Blah, 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 blah. We're not doing that this time. We're not going to wait till the last minute, which is why I'm making the due dates every day I assign it. The due date's not going to be the end of May this time. It's going to be every day. All right? So those of you that haven't turned anything in yet, you're going to be getting late grades unless you have specifically brought to my attention what's been going on, which a few students have brought attention the issues that they have. I won't give those ones late grades. But other than that, guys, you're going to get late grades. And just to put it into perspective, a 60 is failing. Just so you know, 60 out of 100, that's failing. To get to a 60, you have to be 8 days late, because I take off 5 points each day it's late. School days, not weekend days. And so if you forget to turn an assignment for 8 days, even if you get a 100 on the assignment, I'm giving you a 60 because it's 8 days late. So you can get a 100. Woo, wow, awesome, that's great. You did it. I'm so proud of you. But you turned it in 8 days late, so you failed. So that's not going to be okay. You know what I mean? And right now, we only have, like, Anis, IU, Breham, and Siwan are so far the only ones I see turning anything in. And then one 6th grader has been bringing attention to the troubles they're having. So I won't mark that student late because that person is communicating to me. However, none of the other 6th graders are communicating to me, so there are no excuses. Use your Chromebook, use your phone if possible, and if not, do your packet and send me pictures. All right? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. You guys all should know how to get on to Google Classroom, and if you don't, it is your job as the student to tell me so I can help you get onto Google Classroom. All right? Let me look at the chat because I haven't seen it all day because of the video. Hello, yep, 20 square meters, 20 meters squared, yes, those were correct. You didn't post the homework yesterday. Did I not? I swore I did. I had to have posted it because people did it, right? Hold on, let me check. We still have 13 minutes anyways. But I did post the homework. We literally just looked at it. Well, it said you did it. Oh, that's fair. Because yesterday was science. And then, because I posted it at some point, right? Yeah. I hate that it says my first name. Mr. Hughes posted a new assignment Thursday, May 7th. That was yesterday. And then when you go, at least today, gotcha. So now when we click on it, it should take us there, I think. Yeah. And then then it'll just ask you to sign in like with y'all's